Hi everyone, it is Tree from Lost Time Toys, and I just wanted to give a little update, a status update on my collecting mint new inbox Rainbow Brite dolls. And I have a chart that I prepared for you today, so hopefully this will work. I hope this works. Okay. Gonna try my best to fit my head in here. All right, so move this up a little bit. So this chart basically reflects the total list of the new inbox Rainbow Brite dolls from 1984 to 1986 that I'm trying to collect. If you can see, it's a little bit small, but basically I have listed them out in order of date of release. And for the most part, the date of release has a direct correspondence to how expensive they are to collect in the 2025 resale market. So, a lot of people who have collected these new inboxes have been collecting for years, if not decades. I'm starting over 4 decades after the fact, so it's going to be a little bit not only time consuming, so you have to be really patient and precious about choosing the right types of items, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive as well. So we'll start with the top. The first column that's colored is well, first the first column has the image of the doll. The second column has a description of the doll and their unique identification number for the item. And then the third column has the median price. So this is the price that I think is an average to median price that would be okay to get. Basically, it's what you can probably find on the marketplace, either eBay or Mercari or Facebook Marketplace, if you actually put in the effort to seek out those prices. So that's kind of the unlock price where I would feel comfortable buying the doll for. And then column four is the price that I actually purchased the doll for. And the fifth column will have the savings from the median and the actual purchase price that I purchased the doll for. So any savings that I have, I feel a lot more comfortable in possibly overspending for another doll, because basically I'm using the median to set an overall budget for how much I'm willing to spend. So this is an expensive hobby. I'm totally aware of that. And it's a marathon rather than a sprint. So I'm trying to be as selective with what I purchase, because what I feel like I could run into is I get desperate and I'll buy things that isn't the best quality and I'll overspend. So some of the advice that I got from some fellow collectors like Stuart and Ronnie is that you want to be thoughtful, and that's why setting a rubric like a median price point allows you to make proper assessments on what is a good deal and what isn't a good deal. So I'd say for the first four dolls that came out in 1984, like the first wave, Generation 1, Rainbow Brite, when I stutter, it sounds so silly. Rainbow Brite, Red Butler, Canary Yellow, Patio Green, those were the first four, and a decent price point for it would be $150 US. So every time I'm talking about dollars, it's US American dollars as the currency. Of course, you can find things for cheaper. Historically, people can get it much cheaper than 150, and sometimes, depending on the quality, it makes sense to get it for 200 if there's like not a lot of availability out there. But 150 is a good rule of thumb. And then we have Indigo, which came out at the tail end of 1984, but still technically a part of the first wave. She goes for around $200 based on my research and from polling friends who have done this. So if you're spending around 200, that's pretty average. Then we have the second wave, which came out in 1985. And those are the color kits that came out in that wave: Lala Orange, Shy Violet, Buddy Blue. So that's where the orange segment of the column is. And you could spend around $250 to find a decent quality mint new in box color kit in the second wave. My friend Ronnie said that you can actually find Lala Orange for around 200 if you're actively looking and actively positioned at the right time and place. So, of those three, you're most likely to find a better deal on Lala, but Buddy Blue, Shy Violet, a little harder to find a good deal on. So that's 250. And by extension, the third wave, which is the dress up doll phase in 1986, those are even more scarce. So, as a result of scarcity, demand is higher. So, the price is going to be reflected in a higher price. So, your tickled pink, 300, sometimes 350. Dress up rainbow bright. Right now, 300. I have down at 300 as the median price, but right now, you can't find her for under 500 euros. So like $550 is the going rate right now, because the listings that are on eBay for Dress Up Rainbow Bright aren't even taking offers, which is annoying. And then, well, I kind of grayed out Moonglow or Sandra Superman because that doll, new in box, comes around once every 10 years. And to my knowledge, from American collector friends, only two have made it to the United States. So I'm not like holding my breath for that one, but I can probably see if one shows up online, it will clear 3,000. So not even talking about that. It's with probably outside of my reach, both fiscally and practically. It's not going to be available. So let's talk about the 10 realistic possibilities. So right now, my count is four. So I have Rainbow Bright, I have Indigo. Those are my first two. And then I got Tickles Pink was my third that I got from Kara from Moonstruck Crystals. And then my fourth, which I just showed you a couple days ago, was Lala Orange. So I think that I scored a really good deal from Kara. She did me a favor because I only paid $150 for that when it was really supposed to be on the market for $300. The box wasn't perfect, and I did have to work a lot to try to get it into decent form. Same with Lala. I think I overpaid for Lala, to be honest. The I paid after shipping and tax 232, and the median price is 250. So it wasn't a great deal, and the box had sticker residue, so I told you wasn't the best, and I labored over it. I like tried to make it look presentable. I thought I got a great deal on Rainbow Bright, which I bought a couple months ago, and I thought I got a decent to good deal on Indigo because those boxes were pretty good. I mean, especially Indigo, the box was great. And I only had to do a little small adjustments with some of the tape. But Rainbow Bright had a little bit of like bending, like it was kind of compressed and concaved. So I had to like iron that out. So you can see my savings, you can see how much I spent on the dolls so far. I do have a couple of items in the works. I don't want to spoil anything, but there is some pretty exciting stuff that's coming up. But I just wanted to show you my chart. I know this is probably so esoteric and boring for anyone else that isn't geeking out like I am, but this is the median chart and this is how I'm doing. So you can see that I've done 4 out of 11 and hopefully more to come soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm sorry for really going into the weeds about money and costs, but I feel like there's not a lot of like informative videos for people that are actively collecting Rainbow Brite vintage stuff. There's a lot of materials on 2024, the loyal subjects collecting, but there isn't a lot anymore. Like Katie at rainbowbrite.net did an amazing sort of Gazette series that like I watched for years, but this is kind of like my take on everything. So let me know if you have any questions. And I love this community that I've built, and I love talking to my fellow collecting friends. So we'll talk real soon.